What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Ethereum today. It is the 27th day of May, and here we are sitting at about $2,060 with roughly 8 hours and 58 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are. We've got some interesting aspects, interesting aspects for Ethereum here, both to the bullish and bearish effect, if we're being fair. It's quite possible that Ethereum does move up a little bit. It is also quite possible that we're on the brink of death and destruction. But I want to go over both sides. And I think to start off on the bearish note, we should look at the short-term stuff. The more bullish note might be on the daily time frame. So we'll come back to that in a moment, okay? 1 hour time frame here, looking at this, 2060 right now. It's a brand new hour, 57 minutes left in this hour here. We've shown some wicks. You had a little bit of volume picking up as we're breaking out here, as you're getting a lower hourly close. This doesn't look good, and this does make me think that you could have slightly lower prices to go in the immediate short term. However, even though you have some volume picking up, it's really not that significant of volume, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that we have to keep moving lower right now. And this last hour, I think, is a testament to that. We just saw a pretty neutral candle on that last hour there for a closing price. If we're looking at this with our indicators, the RSI is reluctant to get oversold. It's very washy. It's very up and down and all around. It is bearish right now, but you are reluctant to get oversold. The stochastics technically look bearish right now, and the MACD also looks bearish. In this kind of wonky price action, these readings aren't as accurate, but for what it's worth, the 1 hour time frame, in my opinion, does have a bit of a bearish approach to it, a rather bearish appearance. If we're looking at this on the 4 hour time frame, same thing with the 4 hour, there is a bit of a bearish appearance. It started back here when you had this higher low, higher high trend. Okay, you had some upside potential. You looked like you wanted to break out, but instead you broke down. Anytime you have an uptrend in the RSI and you don't get overbought, you break down beforehand. That's not good. And since then your RSI has kind of been rounding off this top. I think you have a date with destiny to the oversold zone, and I think you're going to go there. But again, that's just short term. What if you get oversold here? What, you're going to move down $50, $60, maybe something like that? Maybe. The stochastics here are bouncing off the oversold zone a little bit, but crossing back down. Looks like you want to go down. Again, how much lower are you going to go? Probably nothing too significant, if I had to guess. And we still do have 56 minutes left in this 4 hour time frame. If this 4 hour can come back up and close green, which, that's only a $15 move? Is that right? It's only a $15 move. It's really not that significant. If it comes back up and closes green, there's a chance that this downside is put off for a little bit, it's postponed, and that we move to the upside. And we'll get to that bullish effect here in a second. The bearish scenario is still playing out on the 4 hour, though. You are rejecting the zero. You are building bearish momentum for now, depending on how this 4 hour closes. And, with that, we could absolutely see lower prices. Should we see lower prices? My expectation is one of two things. One, we go to the 786, 886 area, which would be 2035 to 2022, something like that. We're at 2060 now. So is that intimidating? I don't think so. Two, we go down to 1,970 to 1,924, something in this area. That's a little bit more intimidating, but even still, not too crazy. Okay. Overall, we're talking about a move that would be, for Ethereum, anywhere from 1 to 2%, maybe at the most 4 to 6.6% to the downside. Nothing crazy. A lower low overall, maybe a higher low overall, but nothing crazy. When it comes to the upside, here's where the bullish stuff kind of comes into view, is with the daily time frame. The daily time frame on the MACD has been red for quite some time. Now, you can be red for 5 times as long as this. It doesn't have to flip green right now, but if we go through Ethereum's history here, there's not too many moments when you've really been red for this long, let alone longer, right? There's not really too. Here you were red for quite a long time, but you had a fake out. You had a little bit of green, then you persisted red. You were red for a long time there, but you're about as much time here as you were there. You see what I'm trying to say is that there's times when you're green, there's times when you're red, and you oscillate between these levels, right? The green is whenever the blue is on top of the orange line. The red is when the blue line is below the orange line, okay? That's whenever it's green and red. That's the significance of the oscillators converging and diverging, or crossing. The convergence and divergence is whenever the colors are building or falling, but I'm not trying to bore you with this stuff. Anyways, 1 hour, or the daily time frame here, the reason why it has some bullish kind of foreshadowing, I don't know what to call it, bullish emphasis, is that you've been red for so long, you're even decaying your bearish momentum. Sure, you might build a little bearish momentum. Sure, you might see a lower low. Sure. But how much lower? Probably not too much. And I would think that there's some type of upside that's going to come from this. We're in this range overall, right? We've been in this range now since February. And we could go a little bit lower, but still bounce up and see this, again, see this bearish momentum die off and build some bullish momentum, flip green for a little bit, just a little bit here. That doesn't mean that we're going to new highs. That doesn't mean that we're going to see anything extraordinary, right? But it's exactly what I was saying in the beginning of the video. I don't think that we're going to move up too much. I don't think we're going to move down too much. I think that we're going to see a little bit of this or a little bit of this, and depending on which way it gives, you can expect the other side to give back in a short amount of time, probably. We're not going anywhere fast is all I'm trying to say. If we look at this from a low to a high point here, you are very near your golden ratio, but you haven't got there. To me, it makes a lot of sense, guys, that we could see a move just below 2K, cause a little bit of capitulation. And then with that, we get some bullish divergence on the RSI, on the stochastics, and further that divergence on the MACD. And then from there, we move back up to this area. Move back up to 2100, 2170, somewhere in there. And then from there, we probably move down. We'll get a lower high, lower low, yada, 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 continue to move down. I do believe Ethereum has lower to go overall. I think as the months continue, we will see lower prices, potentially even lower than this low. I just don't think that it'll be this month of May, and it might not even be the next month of June that we see lower prices than this. But I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, please. Subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. I will see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.